Thanks, Randy. Really appreciate the kind introduction. Welcome everybody to another Alignable webinar. This is kind of the next chapter in a series of webinars that we've been doing recently. We kind of started off with like a lot of just like technical subjects, website platforms and blogging and things like that. So today's topic is very much about search engine optimization and optimization strategies, building a successful online presence. But we wanted to make sure we were really, directly to the Alignable audience and making sure that this is really a conversation for small and especially local service providers. So today's topic is elevating your local business online. We really wanted to, kind of break down, how to optimize your website into that powerful online presence to create conversions and drive leads and grow your business ultimately. And really put this together in a way. I'm going to be talking about, geographic targeting and really, kind of talking points and, ultimately kind of education, especially for local service providers, to really help you elevate your online presence and find the results that you're looking for. So today's topics, best website platforms for SEO. We're going to be talking a lot about SEO today. We're really going to help everyone, just have a better understanding, even for the non-technical, really how to just get the most from Google and your search engine presence. So we're going to talk about website platforms that really help you kind of, even for the non-technical, understand and kind of, be able to manage those things yourself. We're going to dig into the Google SEO essentials. It's kind of a term that I've coined for basically like the steps that are necessary to get your site indexed and crawled and ranked on Google. We're going to talk a lot about content optimization and blogging, kind of like, the most important aspect of really kind of, ideal messaging and really just making sure that, you're just being found on Google the correct ways and targeting the right people through your content. We're going to talk about Google Business Profile. This is going to be a big part of the local service provider conversation today, really helping you just understand how to build your local presence. And the Google Business Profile is a huge part of that. Then we're going to kind of talk about some strategy things, tie it all together. We're going to talk about the digital consumer journey. This is kind of a marketing strategy, structuring of your website, understanding the intent of users coming to your website, and kind of guiding them through the traditional ideas of the buyer's journey or customer journey in order to drive more conversions through your website as well. This is kind of an important aspect of also the SEO conversation. So we're going to tie that all together and it's going to make sense for everyone at the end. And then, of course, just something kind of a continuation of our last webinar. We talked a lot about CRM and marketing integrations and the importance of having marketing tools that are, really helping you, just drive all that communication and collect information in order to, really build pipelines and, convert people from leads to customers. So we want to kind of just bring that back in again and showcase how it will apply to search engine optimization and all of these optimization strategies that we're talking about today. So with all of that said, let's explore how to optimize your website into a powerful online presence for your small or local business. The first big topic that we're going to talk about today is popular website platforms. And really, we're going to talk about, platforms that are just going to help you best understand and manage, even for the non-technical person, search engine optimization steps just to get your website out there more effectively. So we all know there's a lot of website platforms that you can use to build a business for your build a website for your business. But today we're really just going to focus on platforms that we know small and local service provider type of businesses who are just going in and kind of managing things themselves. Just the platforms that really have the tools that are going to make SEO a lot more streamlined and easier for you to understand. But I did want to start here before we dig into the platforms themselves, just kind of helping everyone understand. This is for whether you have an existing website right now, or if you're just doing research right now and building a new website. Take a step back and take an objective view on this topic of platforms, because there's so many, right? But it's really important just to kind of look at even your existing website if you have one. Just kind of go down these bullet points right now. Picking the website platform that meets your goals. Is the website platform that you're using or planning to use the right one that has the right tools, integrations, and is really built for your particular business? Because some platforms are kind of better for certain industries or verticals. You want to make sure that the platform you're using is ideal for your type of business, your industry, and ultimately your goals that you're looking to accomplish with your online presence. Ensuring that the marketing tools that you're going to use, for your email marketing, chat bots, your CRM, things that we're going to talk about a little bit later on, making sure that all the tools that you're going to use to grow your business work in your website, and you don't have to jump through a bunch of extra hoops to get everything to talk to each other and, work the way that's supposed to. And then really for most of us, we're business owners, right? We're already wearing multiple hats as it is. We don't need to have to learn a whole new skill and, try to, figure out all these things that are kind of beyond our usual skill set. So things like ease of use, just in updating the website, blogging, and even things that we're going to talk about today that are kind of technical, like SEO, just a platform that's going to empower you to easily manage these things and learn and, audit and really just, be able to jump in and, take these things on, number one, to keep your costs down, but also just so you're not, overwhelmed by all this technical stuff that, is kind of going over your head. Something that I always just kind of mention to everybody, keep it simple, avoid all the bells and whistles. For most businesses, if it works for your branding to have all these cool, over the top, animations and videos or whatever it might be with your website, a lot of website platforms, they offer all this stuff that most businesses don't really need. You just need a professional, clean, strong online, sort of representation of what your business is. You don't need all that extra stuff. It's really like this optimization conversation today. If you just follow these steps, you're going to have that online presence that's going to help you grow your business. And just, for most of us, that's all that really matters, right? We don't need all the extra stuff. So let's dig into the platforms themselves. We're going to focus on ones today that we know, business owners themselves really can just use themselves and get the most out of. So firstly, let's talk about WordPress. WordPress is, the big giant in the conversation. WordPress is one of the most powerful and popular platforms for building business websites, especially. So the reason why we're, kind of highlighting WordPress especially, because when it comes to SEO, they just really always stand out as one of the top platforms. So you can use WordPress with one of their SEO plugins, especially tools like Rank Math. There's other ones like Yoast or All-in-One SEO. Those are fine too if you're using those. I'm going to talk mostly about Rank Math because it really, to me, is just the ideal search engine optimization plugin for WordPress. You use this, and when we get into the next step here of actually optimizing your website and kind of meeting all of the current standards, Rank Math just makes it so easy to take your WordPress website to the next level, make sure it's getting crawled and ranked and indexed appropriately. So WordPress plus Rank Math is just how you build a really top tier online presence. Another huge tool though is SiteKit. If you have a WordPress website or you're thinking about using WordPress, you're going to want to make sure you integrate with SiteKit. This is directly from Google. It's how you integrate with Google Search Console and Google Analytics. This is so that you're actually getting data on your traffic and you're understanding, kind of where you're at with your Google ranking and everything. Hugely important to make sure this is integrated, making sure that your website has that proper relationship with Google and that you're actually, taking the necessary steps to be out there on the search engines. And then, of course, when it comes to WordPress, we all know it's amazing for blogging, but blogging, which we're going to talk about a little bit more in a second, is huge for growing your search engine traffic, getting you out there, targeting certain conversations and questions that people ask to Google and driving that organic traffic to your website. So, when you're blogging effectively with WordPress, that's another great optimization and just opportunity to grow your online presence. With WordPress, there's a lot of different page builder tools and all types of crazy themes and plugins. I really emphasize everyone, if you're going to use WordPress or you're currently using WordPress, if you're using Elementor or any of the really clunky page builder tools, that stuff is really going to kind of bog you down and just make it way more complicated than it needs to be. The native tool to kind of manage pages and posts of your WordPress website is called Gutenberg. And I really would encourage everyone to just kind of, again, keep it simple. You can, have really ease of use and updating and everything within WordPress and Gutenberg. That's the kind of WordPress that I'm all about, is keeping it light and streamlined and highly optimized. And that's really the way you want to go. And also something really cool, just want to throw this in as a little bonus here. With Rank Math, they do have some really cool AI integrations. I know all over Alignable, we see all these conversations about AI. Definitely, there's always, things with AI about, you have to make sure you edit and trust it and everything. But when it comes to the SEO conversation with AI, there are a lot of really cool things happening. And with WordPress especially, you'll find some really, really awesome tools that can really help you on the optimization front as well. Just to, every platform we're going to talk about here does come with some little caveats. WordPress does require maintenance of keeping things up to date, your plugins. You have to make sure you're on a quality host, not, don't go out there and just buy whatever cheap hosting. So, you really want to make sure if you are feeling like it's, a big technical challenge for you, some professional assistance with WordPress will really help you achieve kind of like ideal results. Don't overuse plugins, avoid the clunky page builders and stuff that's going to really slow your site down and make security vulnerabilities. And just make sure you have quality hosting or a maintenance company that's helping you out with WordPress. It'll really just, make sure that your site's going to continue to best represent your business and get out there the most. The next platform here that I wanted to talk about, probably arguably the most popular platform amongst Alignable members and small businesses, is Wix. So Wix has kind of an interesting stereotype when it comes to search engine optimization, that it's not that great. And oh, you're not going to get ranked as well as you would with a WordPress site or some other platforms. It's really not true anymore. And Wix has made tremendous gains to make sure that if your business is using Wix to get out there with your online presence, that you have all the necessary integrations and technical capabilities that we're going to talk about to really make sure that you can have a very impactful search engine strategy with Wix too. So number one, something that's really awesome with Wix. In the Wix dashboard, you have built-in, they partnered with Google. You have built-in Search Console, Analytics, and Google Business Profile right from your Wix dashboard. No other website platform does this. They make it really simple for you to make sure that your site is integrated, it's being crawled, ranked, and indexed on Google, and on every single blog post and page of your Wix website, you can actually see the index status, which is also really, really, really awesome. Just so you know that, when you publish content or you update content, you know that your website is effectively, talking to Google and you have the proper systems all set up there. Same thing though, like a lot of people say like, oh, the technical capabilities of SEO are very, very important. With Wix, now they've really opened the door, even though they're a proprietary platform, so they kind of want to like, basically like make things really streamlined for you. They also really let you kind of like get into the technical settings now, which is really cool. So all of your technical SEO things that we're going to talk about in a minute, your site maps and all like tagging and everything. Now you can actually get into all of that with Wix, and they make it really simple for even the non-technical user to figure these things out. And then, just like we were talking about with WordPress, I love blogging on Wix as well. So even with Wix, you can design and have these really highly optimized and impactful blogs. Another great way, of course, we're going to talk about it much more in a second, of getting yourself out there. And what is Wix mostly known for, right? Just super easy to manage, and they take care of all the technical stuff for you. So you can kind of just jump in with Wix and really start to build out a powerful online presence. Wix is really great for a lot of small businesses. And again, they do kind of make it a more streamlined process. So, for the high end level of things, if you want to go with WordPress, totally understand that. But, again, in my opinion, it is definitely better if you have professional assistance with WordPress to really get the most out of it and make sure that you're not going to get kind of bogged down in the technical stuff. If you're really just kind of like a solopreneur and you're kind of doing it yourself, or just, you feel like, like you have the capability and the time to kind of take some things on yourself and really dig into, just kind of like the management of your site and everything, then maybe Wix is for you. One little caveat with Wix, of course, is that it is a proprietary platform. So if you ever decide that you want to leave that, you can. You're basically using all of their tools and everything, but they're a huge company. Nobody, obviously people who stay with them, are very happy. And honestly, I love Wix just as much as WordPress. So for anyone in the audience, I know it's a wide audience here today. You're probably saying, hey, what about me? I'm using a different website platform. X the question in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer in the Q&A how, if you're using Squarespace or Shopify or Joomla or another website platform, how you can kind of achieve some of the SEO things that we're going to talk about today, and even just like the marketing strategy stuff that we're going to talk about today. So yeah, just let us know if you're using a different platform, and we can address that in the Q&A. But moving the conversation forward here, let's dig into some of that like technical conversation about how to kind of configure the technical settings of your website, how to, really make sure that your site is being effectively crawled and indexed and ranked on Google, right? So this is what I call the Google SEO essentials. These are important configurations of every page and blog post of your website. So if you're using the Wix SEO assistant and the SEO wizard that's built into every single page and post of Wix, or if you're using WordPress and you're using a tool like Rank Math, they give you sort of like right there on the side of the page or just down on the bottom of your blog post, this little like, check mark, little checklist breakdown of everything that you need to do before you press that publish button to make sure that whether it's a pillar page, content page of your website, or it's a blog post, is effectively configured so that you're meeting Google standards and that page or post is going to get out there onto search engines. So really important, just kind of first things here: title, description, and image attributes. This is going to be the first big thing right there on the SEO checklist of anything that you're editing in the back end of the website. Making sure that the title and description is properly configured so that Google understands the intent of the page and the purpose of the page, so that it can effectively, rank it based on the content. This is really, really important. Just some little kind of things to throw in here for everyone. If your page is about a particular service that you offer, you want to make sure that the title reflects that, the description properly, just explains what the intent of the page is. And especially for my local service providers, you probably want it to also relate to a local service area that your business supports. So those are kind of like key little configurations that you want to make sure that you are doing in the title, description attributes, just to make sure that again, Google is going to understand, oh, okay, we know what the intent of this page is and the purpose of it, and we're going to rank that appropriately. Another huge aspect that you're going to find on that little checklist is the focus keyword. This should very much relate to the content and purpose of that page, but it should also relate to the title and description. So you're seeing a relationship here. And the really cool thing about tools like the Wix SEO Assistant or Rank Math and WordPress is that they'll kind of give you like a little green checklist, a little green check mark once you've kind of like effectively configured it. So you might put in a title or a focus keyword, and it's going to tell you like, nah, we're only going to give that like a 40 out of 100. You could do better than that. Like, describe this in a better way, give us more detail, structure the title a little differently. And then once it gives you a higher ranking, look just like a grade school score, then you're probably more, prepared to actually publish your content. So using these tools, they're kind of just giving you like the perfect guidance of making sure that you're configuring everything for Google standards, and you're really just going to optimize, those core configurations for SEO, just to make sure that you're getting crawled, ranked, and indexed. Some other really cool ones that you can do both in Wix and WordPress is managing your XML sitemaps and making sure that they're configured correctly, your robots.txt, and your structured data. Same thing, these tools make it a pretty straightforward process, even for a non-technical person, to go in, educate yourself on why they're important. The XML sitemap is basically the entire sitemap of all the pages and posts of your website, and even some sub-level things like categories and everything. And you can go in and configure these settings based on just the how your website and how your content are set up. Really, really important, because you just want Google to understand the complete sort of structure of your website. Robots.txt and structured data markup, they're a little more technical. I'm happy to break that down for you as well. But the fact that even in Wix, you can kind of manage these things now, customize them, and make sure that, again, like just the structure of your website is all configured correctly, huge. And, these are really, really important features that you want to just go over in the back end of Wix and WordPress, and make sure that you have a full understanding and just how to configure them, basically. Again, if you do need professional help, especially with WordPress, I do really recommend everyone seeks out a managed professional that can help you. They'll be able to walk you through these things, explain to you the steps to configure them correctly, and just make sure that things like your robots.txt structured data, and also things like meta tags are all properly configured for you. But again, I kind of feel like with these tools integrated, you get these little kind of breakdowns from them, especially with Wix too. They kind of show you like live auditing of your website. They really make it a straightforward process for even a non-technical person to dive into and kind of be able to wrap your mind around these things. Being able to go in and actively inspect and audit every single page. And actually they'll show you, hey, these are potential issues that you have. And they actually give you the instructions of how to walk right through it and figure it out yourself. So again, even the non-technical person, I'm a little limited on time right now, obviously, but we can walk through how to configure all of these things and really make sure that you're just optimizing for Google standards as best possible. Let's move the conversation forward here. I really also want to highlight something that's very important. We talk about it all the time, probably in every webinar this conversation comes up: performance and accessibility. So regardless of your website platform, you want to make sure that your website is meeting current compliance standards. This is really important in how both Google interprets the sort of like structure and just how your website was basically created. But also there are some both like sort of like legal guidelines that are supposed to be followed here for like ADA compliance, which everyone should kind of think about. Like, it's not just about making sure that you're not going to get any type of like legal issue because of your website not meeting ADA compliance, which can happen, and it is happening quite a bit to a lot of different industries, hospitality, medical, legal, and even honestly some small businesses have had issues lately with facing a potential lawsuit for not having ADA compliance in your website. But realistically, it's not just about the legal thing. Think of it also just like a social responsibility. We want everybody, regardless of an ADA. ADA is really for people with a visual, hearing, mobility, or developmental disability. We want anybody to be able to interact with our website and potentially do business with us, right? So think of it kind of like as a social responsibility as well. We want to just make sure that the website is loading quickly, of course, especially on mobile, but also we want to make sure that we're meeting these compliance standards, just to have the most kind of optimized and powerful online presence possible. So performance, when you go into using a tool like Google Lighthouse, if you're using Google Chrome, right click on your website, hit the inspect button, you'll see a tab that says Lighthouse, click on that and then run the scan and make sure it's selected on the mobile option. This is measuring the actual speed of how fast your website will load. Especially on a platform like WordPress, you want to make sure that you're optimizing for mobile. And it's going to give you kind of the breakdown of what's wrong and what you need to do to fix it. We want our mobile to be as fast as possible. It's real easy to get a high score on desktop. You want to make sure that your mobile is over 90% if possible, really as high as it can. We don't want people sitting there waiting for our page to load. That's just going to increase bounce rates and people are just going to leave our website. Again, going back to the accessibility conversation here, for meeting ADA and WCAG compliance, a really great tool, everyone here, userway.org. Make sure you go to that website, get the free widget. It's available for Wix in the Wix app market. With WordPress, they'll just give you the little code snippet and you can drop it right into your WordPress website. This little widget is, sometimes you see it in the bottom left-hand corner of a website. It'll be the little human icon, or sometimes it's a handicap icon. You want to make sure you have this widget installed in your website. It'll help make sure that you are meeting ADA and WCAG compliance. Really, really important. The other side of the fence, talking about privacy compliance. This is also really, really important stuff. GDPR and CCPA compliance, and there's a whole bunch of other states now that are all rolling out their own individual privacy laws. A tool called Cookie Yes, which again, you can get in the Wix app market, and there's actually a plugin for it with WordPress. You want to make sure you have Cookie Yes integrated into your website. This is going to be that cookie statement that comes up, and probably everyone has seen it by this point, when you go to a website, that people have to consent into the what we call Google consent mode, to make sure that basically people are consenting to the privacy and the data collection of your website. Very, very important to make sure you have this. And just an additional step real quick, just to throw this in, an additional step that I like to take for all the websites that we build and manage for the businesses that we support. We always put a privacy policy and an accessibility statement in the global footer of every single page and post of the website. This is just another way to make sure you are completely meeting compliance standards. If anyone has any questions about this, because I know it's kind of a technical subject, definitely more than happy to answer any questions at the end. And I can kind of walk everybody through some of those tools and kind of understanding, how to really make sure you're meeting full compliance. But let's move the conversation forward here. This is the next really important subject, referring back to, I know I just kind of was getting into some technical weeds there, talking about SEO and some of those core configurations and everything, but this is such an important conversation, taking it on the whole other side of the fence. So number one, we have our website platform figured out, right? We're using those SEO tools for the platform that works for us. We are going through the Google SEO essentials and just making sure that the kind of core configurations there are all set up. We're being crawled, ranked, and indexed by Google, so all of our pages and posts are getting out there. The next big step here is content optimization. Content is king. It is the most important aspect of your website and really any of your marketing materials. But you want to make sure that your website's written content is properly optimized to take your SEO really to the highest level and actually get you kind of just in the right place when it comes to where your website should be ranking and targeting kind of the right audience. So we talk a lot about this, especially in the Hoot Host community group on Alignable. EEAT content strategy. So EEAT is an acronym that was created by Google. It's experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. This is basically kind of like a strategy to understand how you should be writing your content, especially for things like blog posts, but even for the actual content of your website. So really the way to think about this is, not just using AI and pumping out a bunch of random, what we call kind of brochure, low quality content. We want high quality content. And that's what EEAT is going to help you kind of strive to get. Talking about your personal experiences in the work that you do, in the business that you run, kind of also showcasing your professional expertise within your content. So talking about, how long you've been doing this and why you're an expert in it, and then showcasing your expertise and, and your understanding of your services and kind of what you offer. The more that you do this over time, you're building what we call topic authority. And that's where that A comes in, authoritativeness, that Google is seeing, okay, they talk about these subjects all the time. They publish high quality content that we know we can trust. You rise sort of in the ranks as an authority on those topics and those services that you talk about. And just having that last one, the T, is when Google really knows they can trust you and you begin to really kind of bump up in the ranks. So EAT, that's really the whole game right there. Talk about your personal experiences and showcase your professional expertise in your content. And that's really going to help you become an authority and rise in the ranks. Especially when it comes to blog posts, the second big bullet here is Google's helpful content algorithm. I'm kind of moving quickly through these subjects, but I can talk about them for days. But the Google Helpful Content Algorithm, very important for everyone to look into. I just did a whole nother webinar about this. For your blog post, make sure that you're not, just putting out spammy content, self-promoting your business or anything like that. You want to make sure that you're answering people's questions that they're asking to Google. Make your blog post relate to your services and what your business does, but think about your typical potential customer or existing customer. What are the questions that you usually get about your business? The services that you offer, your products, what are those typical questions? Write blog posts about those questions. Answer people's questions from that, that people are typically going to Google with. And that's how you're going to start to drive organic traffic from your blog post and search, from the search engines directly into your website. Following Google's helpful content algorithm will be a game changer for you. It's really important that you follow this structure. And then again, like what we talked about with the focus keyword, your titles and your descriptions, making sure that you utilize your targeted keywords and your location in your content and your titles. This is so important. This is how you're going to gain, especially for my local service providers, you're going to gain that geographic sort of targeting and authority. And the more that you just keep hitting those same topics over and over again, you're just going to become more of an authority within your local service area. Really, really important. And just some kind of like bonus additional thoughts here. Again, this is all about quality content. Don't just be mass producing AI junky brochure information that's just like general information about your business or your location. You want to give it your personal touch, talk about your professional expertise. It's fine to use AI as kind of like a tool to work more effectively, but don't just be pumping out information from AI and just letting it publish all this stuff on your website. That's not going to get you ahead. And even people who have been doing this lately, they're getting de-indexed from Google. Make sure you are publishing quality content only. And when you follow these strategies for the Google Helpful Content Algorithm and EEAT especially, that's how you're going to do it. And you're just going to be meeting Google standards. And this last little bit here, this is another one just for the Wix SEO Assistant or Rank Math in WordPress, just making sure that your SEO structure of your pages, the H1 tag at the top, H2 tag down on the page. I will answer questions about this at the end. SEO structure of every page and post, also really, really important. That one's a little bit of a technical conversation also, so I'll save that for the Q&A at the end. So let's keep moving forward here. Content optimization, so important though. Everyone really needs to just, definitely think about that one and make sure that you're following those guidelines. But the other one, the other side of content here, this is like your secret weapon, especially when it comes to SEO, effective blogging. So blogging consistently on the topics that relate to your business and your location. That's how you just increase your relevance, that the big A again, authority, and just really making sure that you're kind of becoming like in your local service area, like just this behemoth that you just are always talking about the topics that relate to your business. You're just always kind of, answering people's questions and, just really driving sort of like that status within Google on in your local service area. And that's how you start driving organic traffic to your website. So again, Google's helpful content algorithm. Think about the questions that relate to your business that most people ask, make blog posts about those. And the more that you do that, I mean, I'm sure all of us here, we're business owners, we've been doing this for a while, right? You could probably think of a million questions that people tend to ask you. There's a million blog posts. Keep that going, build that topic authority, and that's how you're going to drive organic traffic. And again, every single time you make a blog post, think of it as an opportunity to get found out on search engines, but also really, really important. You can write all the content in the world, but go back to the Google SEO Essentials slide that we just had previously. You need to make sure that each individual page and post is properly configured with those core essentials, just so you can get crawled and ranked and indexed on Google. Because if you're not, you can write all the content in the world, but if it's not getting out onto Google, it means nothing. So just make sure that you're blogging consistently, you're targeting those topics, you're telling your personal stories and showcasing your professional expertise, but you got to make sure the technical SEO stuff is covered as well. And even for a non-technical person, again, go back to those slides, you can figure it out. I see business owners every day tell me they can't do it, and they end up being able to figure it out themselves. So let's move forward here in the conversation. Because I know, we're talking a lot about local service providers here and getting your business to be found locally and generating that strong local presence. This one is almost like your website. Yeah, it's really important. Your website's huge, right? But your Google business profile, if you qualify for one, this is like just as important as having a website. It's like right there with it. So Google business profile, number one, I'm just gonna throw this out there as an initial caveat. This is only going to apply to people who qualify for one. You have a physical location. If you work from home, you can't have a Google business profile. You have an office or a physical location that customers can actually come to, meet with you. That's how you're going to have, you have that professional location. That's how you can really qualify and maximize having a Google business profile. But for those of us who do use it and qualify for it, this is so huge. This is like really how your local presence can all just be driven, in such a different way. Because kind of a rule that we have is really like all SEO needs to start local. And nothing is more local than the Google business profile. Building your local relevance. So going into the Google business profile, you can go in and select the service areas that your business applies to. So right off the bat, when someone's searching for a business like yours, you want to make sure that you're in those geo-targeted areas and getting yourself found. That's a huge local presence optimization thing just right there. And then just some additional things here for the Google business profile I just really wanted to highlight. It's kind of interesting that we think of getting reviews for a business. We think of places like Alignable, people get reviews on Facebook or Yelp for certain businesses, right? But that's all kind of changed in recent time. Google is now kind of like the #1 place. If someone's researching, potentially doing business with that local plumber, that local notary, that restoration company, they go to Google first, and they go right to your Google business profile and check out your reviews. So if you do have a Google business profile, get reviews. Don't let it be some static, empty page. The more reviews that you have, it's going to translate into leads and customers and more traffic being directed to your website. It's a full circle, which we're going to talk about in a second. You want to make sure you get as many reviews as possible. The updates feature, it's kind of like a little mini social media feed or like a little mini blog feed right there in the Google business profile. For businesses that my company supports, we do it multiple times a week for businesses. You want to use that updates feature as much as possible. Repurpose your blog posts, repurpose your social media posts. Use that as much as possible because it shows activity and it just gets you out there more. And then for anyone who is running Google ads for their local business, the local service ads, that they've extended the categories lately. So if you have like a roofing company, contracting, restoration, automotive, there's a lot of businesses that they've really expanded the categories. You get that bonus green verified by Google check mark. There's some hoops you got to jump through with verifications and background checks and things like that. But if you can get that Google verified status, every business that we've done it for, I just see them, the phones start ringing, they're getting way more business. It's a huge avenue that directly from Google searches, that Google will be driving leads and customers right to your business. So if you qualify for it and you can do the Google verified local service ads, make sure you do those as well. So again, Google Business Profile, so huge and so important. So we were talking about content, blogs, the Google Business Profile. I really just kind of want to showcase like some strategy things here to kind of wrap up the webinar today. I'm sorry, I'm running a little long here, everybody, but the digital consumer journey is such an important topic. This is kind of traditionally known as like the buyer's journey or the customer journey. This is like 5 steps of how your website should be structured in order to really just understand the intent of people, guiding them through your website in order to really create that lead generation, conversion focused web presence. And really just making your website not like that static brochure, making it into an actual marketing tool for your business. So there's 5 stages of the digital consumer journey. It's the discovery stage, consideration, action, retention, and advocacy. The discovery stage is those helpful content blog posts, maybe some marketing landing pages that you have out there, and they're bringing people in from search engines into that first stage of the discovery stage. Right there in your blog post, you have little subtle call to actions and linking into the main part of your website. If they click on those, they say, oh yeah, you answered my question in the blog post. I'll learn some more and go over to the next page. Now they've moved forward into the consideration stage. These are the main pillar pages and service pages of your website. This is where you can capture leads, start to tell people more about your business and why you're special and what you bring to the table. Ultimately driving them forward to the third step, really in like the idea of the traditional buyer's journey is the action stage. This is where they're making that purchase with us, they're signing up for something, they're getting on our calendar and making a booking, or even just filling out our contact page. That's fine too. But those 3 steps right there, that's the traditional idea of the buyer's journey. You brought them to that action stage, and that's the whole point of your website, is to really get as many of those actions as possible to help you grow your business, right? But the next 2 steps here are also really important. Retention is about keeping happy customers and giving them good support. So, ultimately, everyone here should be thinking about their website as like, it's a communication tool, right? So you want to make sure that you have effective FAQs, maybe you have a chat bot for good communication with your customers, and ultimately just allowing people to easily get in touch with you. That's how you keep happy customers and you grow retention. The next thing, when you have a lot of happy customers, what happens? Advocacy. People start leaving you testimonials. They go over to your Google business profile and they leave you a positive review. Maybe they leave you a recommendation on Alignable. And now you can showcase those testimonials on your website, and it's a full circle because the more advocacy you get, all of a sudden people come to your website in that discovery stage and they're going, whoa, I can really trust this business. They obviously know what they're talking about. They have all these great reviews. I'm going to go into consideration. I'm going to, land on their calendar. And that's how it's a full circle. You're just building your business. Everyone should really think about this strategy and how, and again, it really does tie into SEO because you're bringing people in and now you're properly guiding them down the road and ultimately leading them to becoming customers and helping you grow your business. Screenshot this screen. Everyone really needs to take this in. Everyone that we see do this, they get huge success from it. And I just did a whole other webinar about this, so I hope everyone will check that out. Last big slide here. I realize I'm going a little long, but I get excited talking about these conversations. Marketing integrations in CRM. Randy and I just did a webinar about this, but I just wanted to bring it up again. All of that stuff that we talked about, search engine optimization, making sure everything's getting crawled and ranked and indexed on Google, your content optimization and blogging, just making sure that, you're kind of structuring your website to generate leads and conversions. But all of your intake, your forms, your calendars, you want to make sure that you have those marketing integrations kind of properly configured in your website so that you're generating leads with forms. All of your contact forms are, you're saving that contact information and people are automatically getting added to email lists so that they're wrapped into your email marketing. Things like your email newsletter, lead magnets, having those landing page signups. These things are really, really important. And again, you can see this graphic here where I talk about that kind of like, it's all full circle. So important that your sales and your marketing connect to your support and your feedback, that feedback ultimately being the advocacy. And that's, the more happy customers and the more positive things people have to say about you, you're just going to grow your business more effectively. Things like, chatbot integrations are also really, really huge, and calendars as well. Everyone has to have that consultation calendar, at least most of us. Make sure all of that is collecting and leading back to the center of it all, which hopefully will be a really good CRM. And so for everyone who has stuck with me, I realize I went a little long here. Just a quick little reminder and recap. When you have a website that meets these SEO standards we've been talking about, you have that optimized content, you're following these strategies that I just kind of mentioned, that's how you're going to build a more powerful online presence for your smaller local business. So WordPress and Wix are kind of the two top platforms I'm going to recommend just because they make that whole SEO conversation much more straightforward. Go over the Google SEO essentials and just make sure that your site's getting properly indexed and found on Google. Optimize your content for your services and your location. If you do qualify for a Google business profile, it's a game changer and will really help you build your local presence. Blogging plus the digital consumer journey, that's going to equal success for you and you're going to get found much more. And make sure you integrate with a CRM because that's really going to help you get out there much more. A little bonus sort of offer that we have for everyone. If you do come over to check out Hoothost, we hope that you will, and you'll see a lot of our website builder and our website maintenance plans. Something that we've just kind of changed recently. We were only doing this for our premium members, but now everybody across the board, even our lowest level plans, if you sign up for a website maintenance plan or a website builder plan, we will give you our CRM software completely for free. It's an included benefit now. So you can manage your contacts and your leads. You can have a calendar that replaces, kind of like junky Calendly, and you can have like really sophisticated booking system. You can manage your email marketing, get rid of MailChimp and Constant Contact. Now you're going to have a really nice system for email marketing. You can do all of your social media from one dashboard, make the post, and it goes out to all your networks. Google Business Profile, you can manage that. You can build landing pages and funnels and all types of sophisticated forms. We partner with another Alignable business that I'm sure everyone's aware of, Waggle AI. They build you a website chatbot for your website, and you get all types of great reporting and analytics. Again, so we maintain Wix and Squarespace, Shopify, and certainly WordPress. So any website maintenance plan, or if you decide to build a website with us, we give you the CRM as an included benefit. But enough with all the self-promotion. Randy, I think now it is time for some questions. I'm sorry I ran a little long.